Welcome to Ian Butler here to the program today. He's getting ready to do battle come up in Glory Kickboxing 30 in Los Angeles. That's Friday, May 13th. He's part of the welterweight tournament, but he's in the reserve. Now, as most of you have seen before, when I talk about like going to certain promotions websites like UFC.com, it's incredible. It gives you all the events, every guy, top to bottom on the card. You have all their weights, their reach. It's like very informative. And as a fan, it actually helps out quite a bit.
Yeah.
Glory's website, on the other hand, looks nice, but it's missing all the information. Like, you're not technically in the welterweight tournament yet. You're part of the reserve bout.
Right.
Whoever wins your bout then will be able to jump in when someone gets hurt. But you're not even on the website at all. It doesn't.
No, and it's supposed to. That's actually pretty huge, man. You know, like that's a big spot on that card, man. It's a highlight of that card too. You know, and the crazy thing about it, Frank, like I knew about this fight. Like, people think I'm coming in on 2 weeks' notice, but I knew about this fight 2 months ago. Like, I had a fight 3 weeks, and they didn't give me an opponent. They didn't give me the contract or anything. So I just did me and just had a fight. I won in quick fashion, and then just stayed in shape. And then Glory called 3 weeks out and was like, "We got you an opponent. We got you a contract." And that's just how they do things. But I heard that they always fly people out 2 weeks late and stuff like that. So they even talked to me in Glory San Diego when I was fighting for Bellator, and they wanted me to fight for them in the tournament. And they called me on 10 days notice. But unfortunately, I was hurt and I couldn't do it. But I knew this was going to come, so I just did my part and just stay in shape and just ready to go for all opportunities. So,
what's it like? So, are you still in a contract with Bellator?
Yeah.
Okay, and they don't mind you fighting in kickboxing. Obviously, Coker loves kickboxing. That's where he comes from. Started with K1, so they don't have a problem.
Right.
Okay.
No.
Is there a rule of, hey, you have a Bellator fight signed, you're going to fight in 45 days, you can't do any other bouts before that fight, or you could fight a week before?
I can just pretty much just fight anywhere. I just let them know what's up, you know? So, like, I did have a problem with them at first. Like, I think some fighters did about staying active and everything, and that's why I moved from St. Louis to Midwest to California, because California and Vegas, those are all the big fights in the promotion, or, you know, and stuff like that. So I can stay active, you know, and it was just hard for me to really get going. So I asked them so I can stay active, so I can take fights with Gladiator Challenge or King in the Cage and still be cool with it, you know, and stuff like that. So,
you know, that's one of the things too, especially in a young career, is being able to stay active. And if you have to sit on a shelf, you know, and only can fight once or twice a year, it hurts. So I'm glad Bellator is like, no, we don't have enough enough events going on where we can get you 4 or 5 fights a year. So let's go ahead and you can do whatever you want, what else you want. So you said you fought like 2 weeks ago in another kickboxing fight?
Well, I fought 3 weeks in MMA, you know, so it ended quickly. On the scorecard, it was like a 90-second knockout. I won, you know. Unfortunately, on the record, it said it was a submission. It was a knockout, you know. So hopefully they fix it, you know. So it was a real quick fight and a real quick turnaround. So I didn't have any injuries or anything. So I just took it easy that week after the fight and then got back into it.
Which one do you find easier to train for? Is it easier to train for MMA as a whole or kickboxing as a whole?
Kickboxing in a whole. Even though kickboxing is a little more dangerous because it's just all contact, you know. But you know how MMA is. You got to do ground, you got to do wrestling, you got to do jiu-jitsu. You have to focus on 3 or 4 aspects of the game, you know. At least kickboxing is just all focused on one, you know. And it makes training a little more easier. When I say it's a little more dangerous for people that don't know, like it's just nothing but just contact, you know. At least if you go to the ground, you have some grappling exchanges and everything. And I think in MMA, people hold back and don't open up as much because they're afraid of the takedown, you know. And at least Glory or a kickboxing bout, you're just standing. You have no fear of that, and you're just throwing, you know. So
now that you're doing kickboxing and MMA, are you making enough money to be just a professional fighter, or are you still having to work outside?
I still have to work outside a little bit, you know. I teach at Evolve MMA pretty much like 2 nights a week. Not extremely that, it's not that bad, and like 1 or 2 privates, but I still have that full schedule. I can still train anytime I want. It's not that streamless, you know. I can tell the owners, hey, I got to fight, or if I want a week off or a day off, I can just pretty much just take off, you know. So it's not nothing too bad, but it's, you know, I still still not full time though, It's still not wake up, I can train, go back to sleep, do that, so.
You're getting closer, and you're right though. But is that you got to get to that space if you want to make it up to the next level? Title fight runs, and potentially you could hold the title in both MMA and kickboxing at the same time. The question is, are you gonna go 55 or 70? Because this kickboxing fight is at 70, correct? And the last couple fights were at 70. Have you moved up officially to the welterweight division? Or are you staying? Are you still bouncing between the two?
I mean,
so the trick is I'd say trick, but I honestly kind of stayed there because of these, like you said, staying active. I kind of was held on the shelf when I fought for Bellator for like 6 or 8 months, and I told myself, let me just stay at 70 for any quick opportunities for the right fights, and so I don't have to cut that much weight. And that's what I've been pretty much just doing with these smaller promotions. Gladiator Challenge been around since your day, or King of the Cage, legendary promotions, but they're pretty much a California brand that they've been around. They have fights every month or so, and if I'm feeling healthy, I can just jump in and have it, and that's why I've been taking those fights at 70. Eventually for Glory, I talked to them about fighting at 55, but they're like, can you fight at 70? I did it so I can take the opportunity to get my foot in the door, and I'll drop down when they want to do another fight.
So in California, I know they're already doing testing. It's not officially on the books yet, but they're testing dehydration of fighters, during weigh-in, right after weigh-in. The day they got to weigh in, and then of course the next day, seeing how much weight's put on and how dehydrated people are, and that kind of thing. It's better for fighter safety. My feeling is, I'm pretty sure, I'm about 90% sure, at some point it's going to become a rule where you're going to have to become within a certain dehydration level when you come in and make weight, which makes a lot of guys, they have to go up a weight because they're cutting so much water weight to make that weight, not fat. They're cutting off water weight. So you might eventually have to be up at 170 anyway, just because they're changing the rules.
Right, and that's another thing I really thought about too. As soon as they made that law, I was just like, let me just take this couple of fights at 70, because I was actually one of the fights that they were thinking about testing it on, but they didn't do it. So it's just a safer way, and honestly, I'm comfortable at fighting at 70. Even in wrestling, I never really got handled or anything. It's just the height. There's some people that are 6'2", 6'3". It's the reach advantage. That's why I dropped. And I was dropping because everybody else is dropping. So I'm comfortable at either or. If they want to do the dehydration test, I'm gonna have to fight at 70. There ain't no way I can fight at 55 by not dehydrating my body.
Right. It's just how the nature of the sport. We're advancing in the new level, and as a result, you're gonna see a lot of guys at 55 all of a sudden get moved up to 70, and they're top tier at 55, and they get beat up. When they go up to 70 because they haven't made the adjustment size wise. So it's gonna be tough.
Right.
But that's just how it goes, and that's just part of the game. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ian, I just want to appreciate you coming out here, man. I really appreciate it. I know it's the end of your training camp, getting ready to run around. So.
No, thank you. Thank you for letting me come on, man. I've been a friend of yours. I've been an MMA fan since, I watch a lot of film. I try to be a encyclopedia in a fight game. I'm a big fan of, being passionate of your sport or what you're getting yourself into, or when you fought Matt Hughes back in the day, and when you fought over in Japan. It's an honor being on the show, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Good luck with your fight, man, and I hope we'll see you in the tournament. I'm actually, I don't see this very often, but I hope somebody gets hurt and you win, and so you can get in. I kind of want to see you in the tournament.
Thanks. Oh, I got a question for you. So you've been huge fights, and I have great training partners like Tony Ferguson, and sometimes I talk to Araya Hall that comes down, and the way I look at the fight is I'm coming in and pretty much just have fun with it, because my first fight in Bellator, I had a lot of interviews coming up and everything. I didn't really enjoy the moment or anything. Is there anything that you did on big fights, when you're fighting before for the title, or anything that would just relax you when you went in?
That was my biggest problem, is that I would put too much pressure on myself and put too much stress on myself. I wouldn't enjoy the moment. I wouldn't be present in the actual time frame. I'd be already thinking about, all right, when this happens in the fight, and then all of a sudden you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders as you're walking into the cage. Where guys like GSP and Anderson Silva, when he was running through everybody, and Hughes, when he was running through everybody, they always had fun. They always lived in the moment. They got really comfortable with being in there, and they're like, whatever, this is fine. Oh, I got hit, doesn't really bother me. Where I got hit, I'm like, okay, I gotta find my space to get back at him. I gotta find my spot.
Right.
So once you get to the highest level, you have to be a pretty good athlete, just to get into the game. You've got to have good technique and good practice habits and all that kind of stuff. But then once you get into the big shows, a lot of it's mental still. Not letting all that extra stuff bother you and staying happy the entire time.
Okay, cool. And that's pretty much what I've been looking at this fight as. I'm like, look, man, as far as I'm undefeated in kickboxing. I'm gonna just go out there, have fun. It's in the bright lights. I have a huge dam floor I can use my footwork on and just do my thing and just have fun with it. So
there you have it. All right, man. Great question. Thanks for coming on here. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again soon.
all right, thank you, Frank. Thank you so much.